welcome to Gaming Less Tomato, and today we'll be repasting the Razer Blade 15 Advance. After a year, it already has liquid metal on it, but we're going to open it back up and see if the liquid metal moved or what it looks like, cleaning it off, then reapplying new liquid metal onto it. And the reason why we're replacing it, replacing the liquid metal, is that I take the laptop around for work to different places and travel with it to see if there's any movement. Another thing I've noticed is that the temperature did increase a little bit over time, but there could be a lot of other factors to it too. So, but we're gonna see if applying liquid metal actually makes a difference, or reapplying it.
So here we are, my Razer Blade 15 Pro Edition, or what do they call it? Advanced Edition, thank you. As you can see, there's a few little scratches here, but thankfully I got a skin over it. It's a little beat up, but this is after a few months of use. And today we're going to open it back up and clean out the liquid metal, then reapply a new batch of liquid metal right onto the laptop. So here we go.
So is it getting hotter over time, or why are you doing this?
Yeah, it is getting a little hotter. There's some goofy things that's happening. I'm not sure if it's related or not, like the webcam isn't working, but I have a theory. I think it's more on a Windows problem than it is with the liquid metal. I would think if there's something wrong with the liquid metal, the whole laptop would just kind of blow up, right? Or set on fire. No, just kidding. But everything else has been running pretty well. But I've noticed the temps do have been increasing a little bit more than when I first applied it. So here we go. One key difference too is that thank you. I've typically, this starts off, sorry, let me restart here. The screws that come with the Razer Blade is normally like that, what would you call it?
Torx.
The corks?
Torx.
Torx. The Torx.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible at taking those screws off. And because of that, I have, what would you call it?
Remodeled.
Remodeled, yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, basically I screwed up the screws, okay? Stripped, thank you. Yes, that's what I meant. I totally stripped all the screws. So what I've done is to ensure that I don't run out of screws, I even bought an extra pack, which will have the links down below. Well, I bought an extra pack of screws. So even if I strip these screws, no worries. I have like 100 more of these. So
it's gonna go quick though.
It's gonna go quick. But I do like these Phillips screws way more than the Torx screws. So
would you recommend just replacing it the first time you take them off?
Yeah, I would say so, especially if you notice that the screws are starting to strip. You have to get it on perfectly, and if it is, you're better off not bothering putting it on, because if you put it on and you strip it further and it gets stuck there, then you have to go buy a Dremel if you don't have one and slowly Dremel that screw out. So I wouldn't recommend putting back a strip screw. Two more here. Okay. So now, once I have this, all the screws taken out, it should be very easy just to pull it right off. And having this tool right here helps, using the end, just kind of propping on the side. Okay, so lift up, put this over here. Okay. So just want to note that these pads are new. These are not standard pads. I use the Fujipoly pads. Poly, sorry, trying to read upside down. Fujipoly. And there's different layers of thickness. So this is the thicker one, which is, sure if I,
You don't have the box anymore.
I don't think I have the box anymore. Actually, no, let me take that back. Yeah, I do. So there's the 1.5 millimeter, which I've used for this area right here. But the thinner ones, I actually have 2 pads going. I'll leave that in there. Is actually the 0.5 millimeters on this side and this side. Okay, actually I think doubled it up. So there we have it for that. And that definitely helps cool down. This right here is the hard drive, thank you. It's the M2, okay? You have your 2 RAM sticks here. You have your cable to your monitor here. And there should be the webcam cable. I believe it's the thinner one also. This right here is the webcam cable. So now, let's continue. There's a few more pieces that we need to take off. The next piece, I wish we had tweezers. So it would be helpful if you had tweezers, but if you don't, just be careful.
I do.
You do? Can you grab it?
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing you want to do is basically take off the ribbon and then take off the metal, basically the heatsink, the copper plate. So you have this black tape here, which is already pretty loose, and then take this tape right here. And then, as you note, there's this yellow tab here. I'm gonna take that, pull that out. So this little tab here, I'm gonna pull back. Oh, it fell right off. So we got that. And then you wanna actually take this if you can. So now here's the key piece on this. You want to flip this over, up. So you see this latch here, you flip it up. Then you can easily pull it out. Don't yank it out, you're gonna rip something. So then pull this up. And slowly take the tape out here from the main cable. So once you have that, just flip this over. So now you have this opened up. So here's the next thing. We want to take off the screws. So there's a few screws here. We have a screw, should be, I believe, there's a screw right here that's hidden in the corner here, one. Then there's, let's see, this connects to the plate. So these 4. There's one here, and there's one here. Okay.
And there's also 4 underneath those pads.
Yep. And then there's under the pads. So we'll have to take off the pads eventually. So actually, you know what? We can take off the pads right now. You can see, and it's good to keep it organized. That's why it's important to have tweezers. Okay. Okay, so you have them here. So now we're gonna start taking the screws off. Whoops, took the wrong one. This one. Okay, I'll use this square and I'll move these over here. So this one, and then let's see, this one. Okay. Then this one. Then these 4. These are a little different. There's a little spring in them.
When was the last time you replaced it?
I think it was like 3 months ago.
Are you sure?
No, not sure.
When did you buy this? When it first came out, right?
Yeah. When did it first come out? It was like in April?
It's been at least a half a year.
Let's go though. Yeah. And what's odd with Razer is that these screws in the inside, they're Phillips, but yet the outside cover is not. Okay, so now we have, oh, I think we have possibly another one, but let me confirm. So one of the things I can do now is slowly lift up. Make sure I don't have anything else. Into this.
I think it was in May or June. May or June, that's when you got them.
Okay, so it's important when you're flipping this up, it's easier to flip from this side. With this tool, you just flip up a little bit, just kind of loosen this area, because you have either thermal paste or the liquid metal all in there. So you can like kind of loosen it up all around.
What is that tool that you're using?
It's a piece of plastic stick that comes in the package here.
I think it's called a spudger.
A sponger?
Spludger?
Spludger? Okay.
Alright.
Well, it's a pointy tool and a flat end on the side. Okay, it's great for scraping things and flipping things over. I'm sure there's an official name to it, but I'm terrible at at remembering all that. So
What do you think it should be called?
a flat piece of plastic.
Okay. Well, next time we'll show you what they name Pokemons.
Yeah. So here we go, and then slowly lift
See,
up.
you got a lot of dust in the vent.
Yeah. So as I flip this over, make sure none of the liquid metal touches the other components, especially all the other components. And this is what it looks like a few months with liquid metal. So I just want to show you, like, I went a little extra on protection. I put on the silicone modified conformal coating here, and I put on the tape master tape here. It's actually a mill Kapton tape, which is, adds that layer of protection. As you can see here, the liquid metal didn't go over it. It stayed within this area. Okay. So now is the cleanup part. So we're gonna use this ArctiClean. This works better than your typical just a bottle of alcohol. It just cleans a little bit better. So with these, you have step 1 and then step 2. So I'm gonna put step 2 away right now. So we're gonna put this. We can either put it on the thermal pad or put it on the compound and wait 30 to 60 seconds. So I'm gonna put this right here first. Okay, maybe one more drop, 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. Let it kind of soak in. Probably not put as many drops here, probably just 1, 2, 1. Okay, and as soon as I put the drops in, it just...
What about that one?
this one, I don't think I put any.
I think it's one of these.
No, this plate covered here. This was open.
No,
right?
It's right here.
Oh yeah, it was. I think. Whoa, whoops! I should have done that.
It's this one right here.
Yeah, but this wasn't using any liquid metal. I did not put liquid metal here.
Right.
You only want to put liquid metal here and here. Don't put any liquid metal here.
So Dave, in the last video, people are saying that you should disconnect the battery.
Yeah. So you definitely. I mean, just to be safe, you can. As you can see, I have not. I need to figure out how to disconnect this battery, to be honest.
I think it's this one.
Yeah, this is the battery right here.
No, this cable right here.
Maybe.
But it seems like it's a lot of work.
It looks like it is a lot of work. It looks like you have to take these screws off right here to pull out the battery. So I'm just gonna bypass that. Knock on wood. You know, we don't accidentally hit the power button, which is in the back, to start it back up. But we should be okay. Okay. Now,
So I noticed that you don't have any static electricity.
yeah, so that's another thing that is helpful. But thankfully, I am not in an area with a lot of carpet. You want to ground yourself at least before doing all this. Okay. Something smells like orange. Where is the chemicals?
It's hard to silver.
Huh? Yeah, I would force it.
I don't know, man. It's not coming off.
Okay, we'll just leave it as is. Okay, so I'm gonna try the Arctic step 2.
What's step 2?
No, this. Well, you're supposed to use it. You use this to prepare the surface for thermal interface material. So we'll use this to prepare for it.
It is coming off.
Yeah.
But just really, really slowly. See?
Yeah. Which, unfortunately, we don't have enough pads.
Let's get some tampon.
No. Hold on, just wait. Wait 30 seconds. So, 4 hours later, we still are having trouble removing our old liquid metal, but I think we've took off a lot already. And so liquid metal does bond pretty well with the metal. So as you can see here, just keep that in mind. There are other solutions. If we really wanted to take it off, we can, but we're not just gonna spend another hour trying to remove this. So we're just gonna go ahead and continue our application. So we're just gonna add a little bit to it. So close our Conductonaut. Okay. So there's different pins, and what I like to use is this one right here. You don't need to use this super tiny one. And you only need a drop. That's it. Another thing you want to do, okay, so you go in and you twist this in,
Some of it's coming out already.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things I like to do is just to make sure I don't screw it all over. I'd rather get it on the table than get it all over the laptop. Because if I get it on the laptop, it's bad day. So get a little bit out. Put a little pressure in there. Oh, whoa! So you can see it just came right out. And imagine if it was like right on the laptop. So, okay. So I have this little bit here. That right there. Okay. And then let me try to get another piece in. Okay. Cool. Okay. So doesn't look like a lot, but I want to start with that. And take one of the this Q-tip, but this Q-tip's a little bit different than your standard Q-tip. It's not as fuzzy, and just kind of dab it down. Okay, so you can see here, nice little shiny glow. Let's set this aside. So, yeah, all these pads were again replaced by the Fujipoly pads.
We're gonna reference to our old video.
Yep. And these pads are all the thinner ones.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the only thicker one that we really use
The SSD, I think.
is the SSD.
I remember a couple when you had to do a double layer.
I think it was the SSD one because you can see here and here.
There was something else. I think maybe these ones, the ones were over there.
Yeah, and they're right here too.
Like this one over here.
Oh yes.
Like double because.
Yep, right here. Yep. So the pads are right here, but I actually got stuck up top here. The same thing, pads over here. These were all doubled up with a 0.5 mil. So yeah, 0.5 millimeter. So let's put this back on. So watch the cable on the left. Once you put it on, you don't want to keep pulling it on and off. So you want to just set it in once and trust and just believe it. Believe it's gonna work. Okay. And don't lift it back up. And then now we put the screws back on. 6 and 7. I think we're good here. Good here. I think I checked that one, and we should be okay here. Good. Okay. So now it's nice and tight. The next part is putting the cable back. So I'm just going to flip this cable back. The tricky part about this is that you want to first start with this, fold in, put it in here, make sure that this webcam cable has enough spacing. You can put that in right in there. Okay. So once we confirm that this is actually connected well, sometimes you might want to inch this over just so we can give us some smoother slack. And then I can press down. Oh, there's the tweezers here.
You got
Other way. Whoops. I'll break that. So this is down here, and then now we have this piece right here. This sometimes can be very tricky. And I slide it in. kind of pull. Again, hence the tweezers help a lot. Pull, make sure you have a secure connection, and then boom. So you got everything kind of taped down. The lock down here, tape's a little off. Boom. Okay. So, all right, there we have it. So now finally, oh, you know what? I almost forgot. The little pads here should cover up some of these screws, the 4 outer ones. Okay, so now we have these on. And finally, we can start putting, yep, I can take this and put it into here. Okay. So now I can put the cover back on.
This doesn't look like it's like sit tight.
Yeah, I think it will be okay.
Maybe you had to.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Once we put the cover back on. So.
Okay. If not, then you can put another layer on top of it.
Okay, make sure everything is lined up. It's firm. It looks like there's a little bit of liquid metal here. Okay. Actually, oh no. Bless you.
Should I just do about it later?
Yeah, but I don't want it to also cover my laptop too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then putting the screws on. Oh, wrong. One. I like to put them on very, very lightly. I can aim there. Whoa, almost put on the wrong one here. Why do I even have this one here? I don't know. This one does not belong. Yeah, we want all Phillips. Close here. So here's one of the things I'm going to do before I put on the rest of the screws. I'll probably put 2 more on here just to be safe. And I don't have to prop this to my body. I can just I have my left arm holding it. I'm going to actually boot it up, because if I put in all these screws and tighten it up and there's issues with it, then I have to open it up again. So that's why I'm going to just only put a few in and make sure that it works. This is probably the most nerve-wracking part. Okay, but let's see, let's start putting away this stuff. Don't want liquid metal all over the place. Put it right back in the bag. Let's put this over here. Okay.
Let's flip it this way.
Okay. So, if we did this right and didn't screw everything up, it should turn on. Very good. So that's all we need.
So here's my initial, or not initial, here's my afterthoughts on everything. Now that I went through this multiple times, taking apart the Razer Blade is not difficult. Sometimes, again, the screws can be really tricky, but taking each component out is not bad. Once you open it up, you can clearly see all the areas, and just taking out the screws, just of course, just like with anything else, electronics, be extra careful with that. And as far as temperature differences, repasting it was a little bit cooler, but not really that big of a difference from original. So my theory is it may be something more related to like a Windows update as far as the temperature changes goes. So then afterwards, and also, sorry, I forgot to mention, cleaning off the liquid metal is a little difficult, being that it's been there for almost a year. That liquid metal does stick to the components, so it takes a while to clean off every bit, but we didn't want to scrape it off too much, because next thing you know, we're removing a little bit too much, more than the liquid metal. And then one of the things that I ended up doing was actually removing the liquid metal and putting in the thermal Grizzly, which is by the same company, still high quality thermal paste, but this particular thermal paste is not conductive, so it's not a big concern, and the temperatures didn't really adjust that much or get any hotter or cooler. Originally, when we first, I first had crown knot, and then when I placed in Conductonaut, the temperatures did decrease a little bit, but also the temperature after a while did stabilize. But also, looking at it, another factor that you may want to look at is that the laptop or the system itself may be running at a higher speed, just so they can hit that threshold. So you're actually getting better performance rather than just focusing on the lower temperatures. So that's another factor to consider when you're applying liquid metal. So you're getting more performance, but your temperature doesn't really adjust that much. And that's perfectly fine. So if that helps, see you next time.